Hello, I hope you're having a beautiful, fantastic, and productive day. I hope today you found joy and happiness and you made time to smile and to make someone else smile. So, I have been completely absorbed with our political affairs in America, and there's so much to say and so many thoughts. Well, right now we have a Fox News weekend host being sworn in as the Secretary of Defense. Let me say that again. We have a Fox News weekend. That means Monday through Friday. He didn't get promoted today. He's the weekend guy. But yet somehow he is being sworn in as the Secretary of Defense to the United States of America. I think we should all be insulted right now. I know we should all be insulted. Whether or not you're actually insulted, that's up to your own disposition, your own view. I know I'm insulted. He's not even fit to organize a food fight between the fifth graders in the cafeteria. Good grief. There's so much to say right there, especially when his own mother made commentary of his character, and that was part of the swearing in process. I was left speechless. I was at a loss of words. I needed some, and then the fact that he couldn't stay sober during work. He couldn't stay sober during the time that he was being paid to provide clear, concise, lucid information. And somehow that is dismissed. Astounding. Oh my goodness. And then I had this awful, weird sci-fi nightmare about some futuristic dystopian in which the military and Tesla collided. This was a nightmare. Okay, this was my imagination while I was sleeping. The military and Tesla had developed these suits, and the army was using these robotic, transformer suits. And then I don't know, something somebody said today, it really just made me remember my nightmare. But then when I remembered my nightmare, I was like, well, it's not impossible. And that moment was actually the scariest. And then I was also thinking earlier this afternoon about what it is to be rich, and what it is to have memories, and what it is to be human, and how all those things collide. And then I couldn't help but I keep asking this question to myself. Why would the richest man in the world still want more money? Okay, especially when I thought that rich men, they want money, and when they have a certain amount of money, they want power. Well, it seems like there are particular men that have the power, but they want more power. And then I was like, well, where does it stop? It doesn't stop, because at some point they're trying to fill the void of losing their own soul with the acquisition of money and power. And you can't get your soul back in a physical sense once you can't, because you lost it in an intangible way. So the only way to get it back is an intangible way. And it really does bother me when corrupt people put in the middle of their corruption, all of a sudden, the clear blue, they want to start talking about God. When there's nothing in the conversation that has led up to any dialect about God. They say, like, God forgives me, la-di-da. Well, I'll tell you something. I have a very close relationship with God, and sometimes it's a lot. But, yeah, God does. He forgives. Yeah, he forgives. But he also, when he forgives you and you continue to do things that he does not like, he will let you know. And he will let you know a few times. But at some point, he will show you his wrath. Okay? He will let you see when he is angry with you. And you will feel it. And just to be so dismissive and cavalier, oh, God forgives me. Oh, yeah. Well, you probably don't have a close relationship. God might forgive you. Yes, he forgives you. But he also wants us to change and improve. And to want those things for ourselves. Genuinely. In our hearts and souls. Basically, what I'm really aiming at is that when you are being sworn into government, a government position, and then you just bring, I believe the church and government should be separate. I'm very religious, but I do believe that God gave us free will, and I do believe that it should not be incorporated into our government, because that conflicts with the fact God gave us free will. And for you to be sworn into a government position and then out the blue start talking about religion as a defense mechanism is manipulative, and it's deceptive, and it is corrupt. Yeah, I'm going to call it what it is. It's corrupt. When you are bringing religion in only to the benefit of your argument and how you are viewed, that is so corrupt. And it has the potential to be disarming, because it's not relevant when they are asking about government-oriented things. And my favorite part was when one senator, I believe he was a senator, was like, yeah, you are telling us information. And then we have to keep in mind that the people that you're referring to have been sworn to non-disclosure agreements, and they can't talk. That was my favorite part. I want to just say these things because I don't know what's going to happen with social media and the news outlets. I also want to make a video about Blue Morpho and what that really is and what that means to me. So many things. I do see we are on the brink of a new stage in history, a new phase. And anybody that disagrees is oblivious, because it's staring us right in the face. I went to a website. It's a luxury brand. I don't know what got into me. It is a luxury jewelry brand. And I always remember this for some reason. It always comes to mind. When you go to a luxury website, when I say luxury, I mean luxe. You can see the prices. You can see the prices of particular items. But there are some items, they just don't have a price. They just don't have a price. And it's not because they're cheap. It's because they are the most expensive. If you have to ask what the price is, you cannot afford it. Period. Point blank. And I have found that in life, we inherently we are priceless inherently. However, individuals that are easily corrupted have given themselves a price tag. They are bought, they are sold. Some people are as good as gold, and some people can be bought and sold. The people that cannot be bought and sold, they don't have a price tag. There is not enough money. There's not enough money to sway them to corruption. There is no amount listed. If they were on a luxury brand website, the price is not there. Because if you're asking for a price, that means your intentions are bad. Because why do you need to buy someone when if you are true, your truth, your integrity, your intentions will line up? Go to the Tiffany's website. You'll see what I'm talking about. Go, I believe Tom Ford is just like that. Chanel. You will see some prices, but you won't see all of them. Because some things can be bought and sold easily. And then some things require time. They require a relationship. And to see if you will actually appreciate the product. They don't just sell that stuff to anybody. And he said, I've been married for 68 years. And then I think that's when I took a sip of my cocktail, because I just now developed a concept of what time really is, because you hear what time is and you feel it, but to feel something, to actually fully experience it is different. So I was like, 68 years. Oh my goodness. And he was like, yeah, it takes a lot of compromise to be married that long. And I was like, yeah, that's the only word I can think. That's the best word I can think of. Compromise all the time. I don't think a lot of these politicians know what compromise is within their own household. And so how could they possibly know what it could be on a national or international level? Evidently they don't. There is no compromise. There's conquering and control. They missed the other C. They only got 2 of them. Corruption. Okay. What I know is there's a lot of people that take into account that the working and the middle class are just doing the best that they can, trying to take care of their families. And they're too preoccupied and optimistic and trusting in the fact and in the thought, actually, that the government is acting in integrity in their best interest and at least attempting a compromise. However, recent history has illustrated otherwise, and some people take that to an advantage. They are taking into advantage that the reality is that people are trying to take care of their families. They are trying to work on their hopes and dreams. They are trying to plan for the future. And they are trying to use that distraction that we are experiencing, what they see as a distraction. We are just living our lives to the full extent to the maximum capacity that our pursuit of happiness will allow. And people are seeing that as an opportunity to pursue their ulterior motives. Surprise, surprise. I see every single smile, every single laugh, every small little act of kindness. I see that as a win, because it is. What I see, I don't see what is happening right now. I see the long term, and there have been some really horrific, awful, terrible things that have happened. But I have to stay optimistic, because you cannot sell optimism. And optimism is fuel for the heart. It is fuel for action. It is fuel for the future. Optimism is critical. It's almost tangible. Optimism is everything, and it is contagious. And so I remain optimistic about our future. So it's all the small little things. Whenever I see a butterfly, I smile. It never fails, even in the winter. And I think about my flowers coming up in the springtime. And I imagine that even though it's the dead of winter, sometimes I still daydream I'm right in my garden, full of possibilities, with my roses cutting up through the soil, on time, all the time, bigger and brighter every single year. So, concluding my video, I really do hope and pray that there was something joyful in this video for you. And I hope that you have time to spread joy. And if you can't spread joy today, it's okay to just save some for yourself and experience it for yourself and share it on another day. I was listening to a comedian do an interview on the news, and you really have to listen to those comedians, because you know what? They speak the truth, but they use a comedic delivery so that their audience, either consciously or unconsciously, they are more receptive to the message. And so this particular comedian, I really suffer with remembering names. He said that, Trump, he got the White House, but he's not going to get my mind. So we still have to find joy. We still have to find peace and happiness and kindness. And those words, he didn't give a whole speech about it. It was just really concise and to the point, but still profound and meaningful. You have to define what your peace is, no matter what.